Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks so much for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate it. I was thinking the other day, I was looking through the list of episodes of my podcast and of this channel, and I know that I've talked a lot about ways to try to find a boyfriend or a partner or a husband. Things about putting your best foot forward and suggestions I have about doing that, or dating, where I gave some suggestions, particularly of places not to go on a first date. But in looking at all these different episodes, one of the things I noticed that I haven't really talked very much about, and it is so important, is that, and this is going to sound a little cliche, that the way you are right now, right in this moment, is exactly the way that you're supposed to be. People have written to me or left me messages telling me a little bit about their lives. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about is the problems that they've had in their life, that their life has been difficult and relationships have not worked out, or dynamics in your family have been strained and you might not have seen your family for a while. And many of the guys that write to me will say something along the lines of, you know, I just don't fit in with my family. I'm the black sheep of my family. I don't speak to them. I've been kicked out of the house. All kinds of terrible things that have happened in their lives. And those kinds of things, I think, are pretty common in the gay lifestyle. Sometimes our families are just not accepting of us. They make us feel like we've made bad choices. They may think that being gay is a choice. And that does a lot of damage to people over years upon years of that in their lives. But one of the things that I can say is a common denominator of everyone that writes to me about these things is that they have a very compassionate, loving heart. Otherwise, these things would not bother them. I'm kind of struggling with this topic a little bit today as I speak to you. I had it all planned out and I thought it was going to go a certain way, but I want to be really honest and talk to you as openly as I can. In my life, if you know anything about me, I've had some troubles, certainly. My parents died when I was a teenager. I was going through a lot of men having sex and taking party drugs and drinking all the time and missing work. You know, my life was a disaster for a long time. But in looking back at it, I would not change a single thing that has happened to me. In fact, that was part of my wedding vows to my husband. I said to him in front of the full congregation that life has been very difficult because my parents died when I was so young. And I've had obstacles and I've had difficulties to overcome. And in fact, I would go back through the same life and feel the pain of all these experiences, as difficult as that is, as long as I knew that my husband was at the end of all of this horrible journey. And I know that had I not experienced the things that I did, had I not gone through these troubles, had I not cried myself to sleep 1,000,000 times, I would not have been the person that my husband fell in love with. I know I would not have. It was those struggles that made my spirit, that opened my heart. And I just want you to try to think of not just the bad things that have happened to you, and especially relationships. If relationships have not worked out, if you had a complex life with someone and they cheated on you and you broke up and it's been a disaster, I want you to also try to realize that you would not be you. Possibly you would not be capable of feeling the pain that you're feeling when these things happen. And that is because you have a compassionate heart. And one of the very best things that we can do when we do have that kind of heart is to give back to people. That's really one of the purposes of my having an Older Gay Guy Show podcast and this YouTube channel, is to tell my stories, to tell my mistakes, the things that I've struggled with, the ridiculous situations that I've gotten myself into, so that maybe a couple of you might be able to learn from my mistakes. And I'm pretty open on the podcast and here about those struggles. But I wouldn't change who I am. And therefore, I can't change any of the experiences, good and bad, that have happened in my life. And as hard as your life may be, or may have been, I want you to realize that you have become a better person because of those experiences. I don't suggest in any way that you try to change who you are, unless you are on a personal journey where you have been working towards being a better person. That's wonderful. But if you have this loving and compassionate heart, you need to give back somehow. That is what makes you feel good. That is what makes family. That is what makes you a person that people will want to be around. And that also includes people that you date that may turn into boyfriends or husbands. They need to see the real you. It's so easy to get down on yourself. It's so easy to go out, have trouble meeting someone, seeing your friends as couples, perhaps seeing your ex with someone new, and you have some drinks and you start to get depressed and you go home and you just fall apart until you go to sleep. I wish that you didn't experience it, but you are a survivor. You are someone that can go through those experiences and learn from them, as difficult as that is. So I want you to consider reaching out to someone that may be alone, maybe just by themselves on a Saturday night, watching TV, drinking, depressed. I want you to reach out to that person. Try to get a better connection. Try to see if you can help make them a little less lonely. Because guys, when all is said and done, and we're going to bed by ourselves, as we turn out the light and we lay in the dark, we are very much alone. Thanks so much for coming by. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up. We'd love to have that. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me about how you reach out to people. I would love to hear that. I'll be back with a peppier video next time. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Joey Hernandez. Take care. Bye for now, guys.